After about another year, the search for the worst has returned for the second time. Yeah, it's back, unfortunately, because I have to watch all these shitty little movies which are fucking horrific. Today, on the search for the worst, Dragon Wars D-War. Dragon Wars D-War is the worst thing in the history of anything ever. It opens with a voiceover telling us that many people believe the time of dragons is over, even though it never existed in the first place. Apparently, every 500 years, a woman with a bullshit spirit power is born, so she can summon a dragon or something. Then we're told that she can change a serpent into a dragon, and the fate of the entire world depends on if the snake is a dick or not. And I'm not making this up, it literally is. It cuts to the site of an accident where a massive dent has been found in the middle of the ground, and no one knows where it is, even though security cameras exist around this area, because it's literally in the middle of a fucking building site. Some guy that probably is going to be important later yells that a beast has risen, but nobody gives a shit. Then some guy named Ethan records a scale, and it reminds him of something the guy told him literally about 100 years ago. That's hyperbole, but in a flashback, Jack is told about some bullshit story of how every 500 years a dragon shows up and is meant to destroy everything or something, and has to collect some bullshit object from heaven that makes the dragon be able to go Super Saiyan or some bollocks. We learned that 500 years ago there was one of these chances, but the dragon was evil, so the heavens sent the weird bullshit object to the earth. And the flashback is still going on, for fuck's sake. CGI monster attack a village to find out some random girl with the mark on the dragon thing. Some random bullshit idiotic girl which has no importance until later has the mark of the dragon thing. 2 people kill themselves to prevent the evil serpent thing from getting the Yu Yi Ju or whatever the bullshit heaven thing is called. Then we learn that the old man and the kid are the reincarnation of the 2 idiots in the story, because of course they are. We then learn that a girl named Sarah is the new holder of the Yu Yi Ju bollocks or whatever it's called, so they have to stalk her to make sure she doesn't get killed by the massive snake serpent looking ass thing. Back in 2007, he tries to find her. The girl sees the news, then it cuts to some random forensics lab where they are looking at the scale, and it turns out to be harder than a diamond, and it is obviously from the massive evil serpent thing from earlier. Oh wait, they don't know that exists yet. Because apparently a massive snake can just hide out in the middle of like the fucking massive city under a pool or something and no one knows it's there. For some reason Sarah fears her life even though she doesn't even know the dragon fucking snake thing exists and she knows nothing about it. Then it cuts to a bar where Sarah gets mugged, but Jack comes and beats 3 people in about 2 seconds even though he has no abilities whatsoever. So how's he just done that? It randomly decides to cut to the serpent, which kills an elephant. And then we see a random man in black clothes, which is obviously the villain, watching it. Just fucking sitting there watching it, eating a fucking elephant for some reason. Ethan finds out who Sarah is from a newspaper because her picture was in it after it was taken from an interview with the police. Why would 3 people getting knocked out make the newspaper? Fuck knows. Sarah has a random dream and then wakes up and calls an ambulance for no reason at all. See, this is why you can't get an ambulance when your fucking mum's having an heart attack. So, thanks Sarah. Her friend goes to the hospital, but then, oh, for fuck's sake. I was joking earlier, but the serpent actually comes out of a fucking swimming pool and kills her friend's boyfriend. And then continue searching for Sarah, even though it's literally in the hospital, right where the serpent is. Ethan randomly walks into a room, even though they don't know who each other is. And he tells her that he's here to help, with no explanation of why he's there. Just literally just walks into the hospital room without any explanation. They're driving away, but are stopped by the man in black clothes, which now has a massive suit of armour, which he just pulled out of his arse. Where's that come from, seriously? Because literally, where did it come from? And how has he got it? These questions won't be answered ever. But then Jack runs him over and they escape. So literally, he's just the worst villain in anything ever. The FBI somehow find out a massive serpent is looking for Sarah. How did they know? Did they interview the serpent or something? How have they found this out? Some random FBI agent named Frank is told to kill her. to stop the serpent or something. I mean, why would that do that? Meanwhile, out of nowhere, the general, which is the guy in black clothes, somehow frees the serpent army, which apparently is there and apparently now exists, even though it's never been mentioned until now. Sarah gets hypnotised into explaining some bullshit about her past life, which she didn't even know as the girl in the flashback. Then some bullshit happens and the snake starts chasing them while they drive away. And conveniently, they manage to lose and outspeed a giant fucking snake. They have the plan to fly away, but some guy comes up with the idea of letting a good serpent get the Yu Yi Ju plot device object thing. The serpent arrives at the restaurant they are at, but they're getting a helicopter and oh, never mind, it got destroyed by the snake. Army choppers show up and are somehow overpowering the serpent until the snake's army shows up and starts beating the army's choppers and tanks. Frank then meets Ethan and Sarah and is going to kill Sarah, but is then killed by his own FBI agent that we've never seen before and never see again after this scene. The bullshit continues as the army chases them and eventually takes them to the snake's headquarters, which apparently exists. And Ethan is tied up while Sarah is held down for the snake to get the Yu Yi Ju object thing. The serpent rises and is about to consume the object until the plot armor comes in. The light on Ethan's medal thing starts flashing out of control and it lets out a massive shockwave which conveniently kills the entire snake army. Then the general, which is still alive somehow strikes Ethan, but then also dies because of the plot armor. A good snake shows up and the two serpents persist to have the worst CGI fight I've ever fucking seen in my life. But then the evil one is approaching Sarah. She gives up, but then the plot comes in again and a light shines through her mark thing of the fucking dragon mark thing, and the object is somehow now in the sky and not in her. The plot armor comes in yet again for about the millionth time in this movie, and Sarah somehow controls the object and throws it towards the good serpent, which makes it turn into the fucking dragon. They then have another terrible CGI fight and the wimpy evil snake tries to escape to heaven, but the dragon kills it with fire. The dragon spits up the spear ball object thing and then Sarah gets turned to a ghost, and the CGI just looks fucking horrific as she persists to get absorbed into the object, and then the dragon eats it and leaves for heaven, and the movie ends. Dragon Wars D-War may be the most ridiculous movie I've ever seen in my life, and the CGI is just horrendous, and the story is just so fucking bad. I'm honestly not even sure if they were trying at this point, because to be honest, it was just fucking awful, this movie was. Absolute shit! Yeah, let's just see where it stacks up with the rest. So yeah, this is where it stacks up with the rest. As you can see, I've had to move this to 2 slides now, but it just goes across, literally. I'll sort it out at some point. But either way, it's not the worst movie we've ever reviewed, by far, literally. So it's 3rd ranked, just behind Kid That Would Be King and Jurassic Island, and you know it's bad. These movies are bad, because I mean Jurassic Island is 2nd, for fuck's sake. So let's see what's next and search for the worst. And let's see what's next. Oh no. So yeah, Mega Shark vs Crocosaurus, whatever that shite movie title is, next. And it won't be 6 months until the next one is. I'll actually step up at least to the next one of these, and then I'll just go for another yeah. See ya! You cock!